Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? Today's video is going to perhaps be controversial, and I feel like this is the time of the year where videos become controversial, and that is where I start talking about my opinions about movies that were released throughout the year. And today we are starting with horror movies from 2024 that I intentionally skipped and more than likely will not be watching. I do this every year. I round up whatever movies that I seriously just didn't care about or skipped, and I talk about them here because I want to know your opinions. I want to know if you watched these films. Like I always say, we don't yuck anyone else's yum around here, so that's what these videos are for. You let me know what you liked throughout the year, what you didn't like, if you agree with my opinions, and we'll just kind of go down the 2024 rabbit hole of horror movies together. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you'd like to see any more of me, or support the channel any further. To be completely candid with you, if it sounds like I'm speaking a little funny today, it's because I need to get a tooth extracted, and I'm in a lot of pain, and I don't actually want to admit that. I'm 31, and my biggest fear is the dentist. Anyways, I have 15 movies on this list that we skipped. We have not watched any of these. The next one, so the way these videos are going to go is we're going to do 2024 skips, my November Letterboxd wrap up, and then the worst horror movies of 2024 for me. And then we'll do honorable mentions and then the best. That's how I do it every year. So let's start off with the first film that I intentionally skipped and I have no care in the world about. Imaginary, where a woman returns to her childhood home to discover the imaginary friend she left behind is very real and unhappy that she abandoned him. And honestly, one of the main reasons why I skipped this movie is because it was a Blumhouse dump, and I feel like with Blumhouse, they're very hit and miss. Like, they released Speak No Evil, the remake, and I really enjoyed it, but this was a skip. Anyways, one of my favorite podcasts that I always talk about, Colors of the Dark, they had the director on, Jeff Wadlow, and he kind of said that the film passed through so many different hands, and in getting to the final product, it had just gone through so many different people that it, from what I've heard, did not feel like a coherent story, and I am fine with skipping Imaginary. But moving on to Arcadian, where a father and his twin teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the world, and honestly, I already had my Nick Cage horror for the year with Longlegs. I don't need this one. It just didn't catch my eye at all. Moving on to The Inheritance, a billionaire on the eve of his 75th birthday invites his estranged children back to the home out of fear that tonight someone or something is going to kill him. This one feels like a very teen horror. I don't know if I really like Peyton List in horror movies. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that one. I'm gonna shout out Horror Hideout Kenzie right now. Hi Kenzie. I know that you liked this one, so you guys are gonna have to let me know your opinions. Alright, let's talk about The Exorcism. A troubled actor begins to unravel while shooting a supernatural horror film, leading his estranged daughter to wonder if he's slipping back into his past addictions or if something more sinister is at play. And I am just okay with, I don't need another Russell Crowe exorcism movie, I'm fine. At number 5, we have Time Cut. A teen in 2024 accidentally travels back in time to 2003, days before a masked murderer kills her sister. And while I do believe the early 2000s is a great time to do a time travel film back to, we just got Totally Killer last year, and it really did feel like the same premise, just in a different time period. And I'm okay with skipping that one. At number 6, we have Afraid. The Curtis family is selected to test a new home device, a digital assistant called AIA. I believe it's pronounced Aya in the movie. Aya learns the family's behaviors and anticipates their needs and makes sure nothing and no one gets in the family's way. And I feel, I'm going to be honest with you, after John Cho was in Searching and in the TV show for season 2 of The Exorcist, I'm over him in horror properties. I am completely over seeing John Cho in this kind of role. I miss comedy John Cho. I also am just not a fan of artificial intelligence films like that, like home-based film. I don't know. I'm pretty selective when it comes to things like that. Let's talk about hashtag all my friends are dead or hashtag AMFAD. Oh my god, I hate this. A group of friends rent an Airbnb for the biggest music festival of the year, and a weekend of partying quickly takes a turn as the group is murdered one by one. Very much teen TikTok horror starring Jojo Siwa. I'm past it. I'm good without it. Okay, now the next 2 films I skipped for a very particular and same reason, and perhaps you can change my mind on these, but we'll start off with Hold Your Breath. In 1930s Oklahoma, amid horrific dust storms, a woman is convinced that a sinister presence is threatening her family. And just to piggyback on that, we'll talk about Never Let Go, a family that has been haunted by an evil spirit for years. Their safety is questioned when one of the children questions if the threat is even real. And I just wanted to talk about these at the same time because I feel like both of these would have been way better films if they weren't starring big actresses in the lead role. One stars Sarah Paulson, one stars Halle Berry. And I genuinely feel like if we would have got these with completely unknown actresses, or perhaps like an up-and-coming actress, I feel like it would have been a more believable story. I'm kind of over Sarah Paulson crying. Alright, at number 10, we have The Deliverance. An Indiana family discovers strange demonic occurrences that convince them and their community that the house is a portal to hell. And if you guys have seen Zach Bagans' documentary Demon House, I feel like that's all you need to watch. That's it. This has a very jarring line from Glenn Close that went viral, and that was my deterrent from seeing the film. I didn't need to go any further. The way they blocked out Glenn Close's eyebrows in that film is jarring. At number 11, this one might be kind of controversial, but we skipped The Crow. Soulmates Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered. Given a chance to save the love of his life, Eric must sacrifice himself and travel the worlds of the living and the dead, seeking revenge. And as a fan of the original, I did not want to have that tarnished for me, so I just did not go ahead and watch the remake, or reimagining, whatever you want to call it. At number 12, we skipped The Platform 2, and this one I could be coaxed into watching. After a mysterious leader imposes the law of a brutal system of vertical cells, a new arrival battles against a dubious food distribution method. I didn't even watch the first one, I'll be honest. I watched like part of it during the pandemic and I was already going crazy being at home. I'm okay. I should have said I was okay without watching that one. But these are films that I could be talked into watching if you can sell me on them. Also, just based on the description and based on the trailer, I feel like The Platform 2 was giving the exact same thing the first movie was giving us. I could be wrong though. At number 13, we have House of Spoils. A chef opens a restaurant on a remote estate where she battles kitchen chaos, crushing self-doubts, and a haunting presence that threatens to sabotage her at every turn. And this is sold as a horror movie, but in reading reviews and in reading things about it, it is more fantasy based. And if you guys know me, I'm just not into that kind of stuff. At number 14, we have Caddo Lake. When an 8-year-old girl goes missing, a series of past deaths and disappearances begin to link together, altering a family's broken history. I hate time loop films. I absolutely cannot stand time loop films. That is like the one horror trope that I cannot stand. And I fear that this is what this has been sold as to me. So big skip. And then at number 15, finally, we have Subservience, the Megan Fox sex robot movie. Follows a struggling father who purchases a domestic sim to help care for his house and family, unaware that she will gain awareness and turn deadly. You know what? No explanation needed. I just did not want to waste my time with this. I really didn't. I fear I am over Megan Fox. And growing up, she was like I would have died for her growing up, but I am over it. Anyways, I am in a lot of pain. I'm going to be honest with you. Talking is not ideal right now because my mouth is in a lot of pain. As you can probably tell, this has been a very annoying video, but I want to know your thoughts down below about all of the movies that I've mentioned. Did you watch any of these? Did you skip any of these? Are you going to check any of these out? Let me know. My November wrap up for Letterboxd is going to be absolutely unhinged because we watched so many movies. We had COVID and I was off of work for a full 7 days. We watched so many movies. It is going to be such a long video, so strap in for that one. I will see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging up. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for putting up with me today. I'll see you soon. Sayonara, suckers.